Up on the screen is a press release from the CMS regarding the American Rescue Plan, which has been passed by both the Senate and the House. And basically what it's going to do is enhance the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare. This is a substantial enhancement to the Affordable Care Act. That said, it is full of details that people need to consider, and in order to get the most you can for your money. So let's just quickly read through here. I'm going to just highlight some of the points here. Signed it into law. Yes, we know this. And now these general statements, which is premiums after these new savings will decrease on average by $50 per person per month or $85 per policy per month. 4 out of 5 enrollees will be able to find a plan for $10 or less after premium tax credits, and over 50% will be able to find a silver plan for $10 or less. Let me say that, just as an aside, personal opinion is that sounds a bit aggressive, even with the increased numbers. Okay, that sounds a bit aggressive. Nevertheless, still certainly worth checking out. So let's just go to background on how premium tax credits work. And basically what you people have to remember, and as I've said on multiple occasions, on multiple videos on this channel, please like and subscribe to it, is the fact that the health insurance premium subsidies are in fact tax credits. That means the way that they're calculated has everything to do with your income taxes. It's vital. This is why I mentioned the silo effect. What you thought, people said, okay, health insurance is a different topic than my mutual fund investments. Well, guess what? Now they clash. They don't clash necessarily against one another, but my point is that they are not separate topics any longer. You need to consider the interaction. Okay, so let's continue on. According to the American so the technical reason on how this works is that no one now pays more than 8.5% of their household income. Before, that number used to be 9.85, 9.83. You can see it up here. I misspoke. Okay, so basically that's what's created the new calculations. So persons that were right on the border, right, all of a sudden can be eligible to receive the advanced premium tax credit. Let's continue on making this work for you, and here's the important stuff. When will the tax credit be available on healthcare.gov? This is the first stopping point, which is this information will exist online on April 1. On April 1. And this is very important that healthcare.gov and my private link will not correctly show the American Rescue Plan levels. These better levels, these higher premium subsidies, will not be reflected until April 1. So I've had a large number of people come onto the website to look for an estimate. It is a very good starting point. We're going to get to the subtle points in a few moments. Nevertheless, it's not going to be fully accurate for April 1. Sorry, for May 1, because the numbers are not going to be right until April 1. That's the key thing to remember, and that's why we've got this bold date and also the banner which says coming in April 1. So the issue here is the following. If I'm currently enrolled through the marketplace, what will happen if I don't come back in? The issue here is that I don't suggest doing it this way. That's important, right? I think that if you are currently enrolled and receiving a subsidy, you should go in again on April 1 for a recalculation. The recalculation is important. Number one, I'd rather have you have the money sooner rather than later. Because number two, Otherwise, you've got to wait all the way until the middle of 2022 in order to get this difference back. For some of you, maybe you say, okay, it's not worth the hassle factor. For that, you can click on the link and I can guide you through it, right? And that part will be free. Basically, what we do is I have Zoom set up. You can see exactly the steps that we'll go through. Now, let's say, for example, you did not have coverage before. And the reason I've left this to the end of the segment is because this is now subtle. Okay, when should I apply? There are two different time frames. The first one is you can do so right now, today. Anytime between now and the end of March 31st, midnight March 31st, your health insurance will be in effect for April 1. The drawback to that is that you won't have the correct number, meaning you will be reported a slightly lower subsidy for April, which then you've got to turn back around on April 1 to update it. And that will then take effect. Now, why would you do it this way? Why don't I just wait until April 1? The reason for that is that, let's say, for example, you had a need for health care and that you were going to incur costs. Okay. In which case, let's say you want to have, in other words, you want your start date to be April 1. That's your reason. Number two, the second path, right? You can wait until April 1 is that, yeah, you can do it on April 1, or the reality is through May 15th. It won't start until the first day of the following month. Meaning, if you enter and cross the finish line with me on April 1, your coverage doesn't begin until May 1. Okay? So, you can see this even this single day, the difference between March 31st and applying on and completing your application on March 31st versus April 1, that will be a difference. That will result in a difference. Okay? So this is the important stuff here. Hopefully you've gotten something from the video. Please like and subscribe. Share it with other persons because this is a notable, substantial change to the Affordable Care Act. The amount of money that persons can get under the advanced premium tax credit can be every bit worth the effort. Coming up next, we'll have a short sample. What you're seeing here is my firm's private website, ghbenefits.com. And here is how you can get an estimate quickly. So this is for today. It's now it is now March 19th. And you can see it here. We go to online quoting, and then down here you can go to individual health insurance quotes. Now from here, you don't even have to leave your name. But you do need to have your zip code because you may know that premiums and plans available definitely vary from location to location. See plans and prices, and you can see it here. Yes, I'd like to see if I qualify for a subsidy. That's what I would definitely do. And then click. Now, let's say you're 48 years old and you're a male. Tobacco user or Medicaid, because tobacco will increase your premiums. If you click this box, you're not going to be eligible to use this path. Let's continue on. Now, this is a negative, and the reality is I've used healthcare.gov as an estimator in the past that I've shown you on other videos. The reason I don't love this here, because this is the software issue, is how many people in your tax household? Fine. Estimate your 2021 household income before taxes. This is an issue because it doesn't make it separate out the different sources. The reason that this is an important point is that not all sources of income are taxed equally for APTC reasons. For example, Let's say you're 62 years old, you've retired, and you now receive Social Security benefits. That is taxed differently than your pension income, for example. Quite differently. And as a result, it'll throw off this number. There's not going to be a shortcut to be able to go through healthcare.gov to make sure it's actually correct. So this is an estimate, and that's important to note. There are many reasons that I've suggested that people don't do this for themselves. Here is certainly one. Anyway, here you can see it here. Now you can see that this is an estimate. So remember, this $31 a month estimate, okay, if we just go to continue, preferred hospital, let's skip these because it'll be too complicated. These are not steps you should actually skip in real life, but we're doing it just for illustrative purposes. And you can see it here. Up will come a list of all of the different plans. Now, you can see it here that for this particular person, I don't see any premiums at $50 a month or whatever they were saying, or a silver plan at $10 a month. While I'm not saying that this change to the law isn't helpful, because it is very helpful, that doesn't mean that I think that your expectation should be that health insurance will cost $50 a month. You can see it clearly here. Now, this will change all over the map. You cannot just say, okay, well, I saw Jay on this video and, blah, 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 because you can see it, for example, here. If I change the number of people to 2 household members, same income, you can see now a slightly higher savings. And if I added a spouse, let's just call the spouse 47 female and then close, now you can see a much bigger number, $465 a month. You can see how subtle it is. You can see also how important it is to get the income right, because I've now changed it to $45,000, and you can see it's now $537 is your savings. And now you can see a premium which is notably lower. It's really just an illustration that you'll want to be real careful. This is the reason that I don't suggest doing this unassisted. These numbers should be accurate because the impact over here is so big, right? I've just moved us, for example, from, you can see it. Let's just move this, your female, down to 37. And now you can see a lower subsidy amount. It's very sensitive to accurate input. That's your takeaway.